Azeri and Roses is an Azerbaijani story. Once upon a time, in the vast steppes of Azerbaijan, there was a small village. There lived a young man named Azeri in that village. Azeri loved nature very much, especially the roses. The villagers also cherish the roses that bloom every spring, and their fragrance spreads throughout the village, as if the air is sweet. Azeri grew up being told by his grandmother from a young age. Roses are not just flowers, they are mirrors that reflect the heart of the village. In a year when the roses are healthy, everyone's hearts are also healthy. It was one year. At the end of winter, the sky remained gray and not a drop of rain fell. The steppe was cracked and the ground was dry. And even in spring, not a single rose, the symbol of the village, bloomed. Why doesn't it bloom this year? The villagers whispered to each other anxiously. Livestock weakened, fields dried up, and smiles disappeared from people's faces. Meanwhile, Azeri made up his mind. I will bring back the roses, and I will deliver the scent of hope to the village once again. Azeri visited an old sage who lived on the outskirts of the village. The wise man listened quietly to Azeri and said, Roses don't bloom not only because there is no water, but because people have lost their gratitude and prayers. Roses grow in the water of the heart. But it's not that there is no way. The wise man told Azeri to fetch water from the fountain of life deep in the mountains. It was not an easy journey, but a journey of contending with heat, hunger, and hesitation. But Azeri never gave up. When I was about to collapse on the way, my grandmother's words came to mind. Roses are a mirror that reflects the heart. A few days later, Azeri finally reached the fountain of life. The water was cold and clear, and it gave off a mysterious glow that seemed to have power even in a drop. Azeri carefully put the water in a jar and carefully returned to the village. And when he reached the hill where the roses grew, Azeri gently poured the water of the fountain of life at the base. At that moment, the ground shook slightly, and a small sprout emerged from the dry soil. As if it had breathed again, its buds stretched out and beautiful red roses bloomed. The villagers were surprised and delighted. Eventually, roses began to bloom one after another in other places, filling the village with a sweet fragrance again. Thank you, Azeri, you brought hope to this village. Smiles returned to people's faces, and everyone expressed their gratitude. Azeri just said quietly, I was just trying to hear the voice of the rose, and I think what is important is not water or soil, but the heart. Since then, Azeri has been called the guardian of the rose in the village. His story is passed down, and when they see the roses blooming every spring, the children in the village say, This is the rose of Azeri, a flower of hope that I have grown with all my heart. End.